Welcome back to the Culture of the Few Workbook experience. We are getting ready to head into section 3, which is on intentionality. And this video is going to talk about chapter 9, which is entitled Redefining Success. And I know that for me, as I begin to continue the journey of following Jesus and the idea of what it's look like to transform culture as we follow Jesus, the idea of coming into a place of redefining success became a place where the rubber hit the road, because I think I had a lot of ideas and I guess fantasies about what my life would be like and all these amazing things I would do. And again, like we've been talking about, as we look at Jesus, we find that the way he lived his life is just very different than a lot of our ideas. So again, I know this is something that we share a value for. So why don't you talk a little bit about what does it look like as we're pursuing God? What does it look like in our lives as we begin to have a different idea maybe than we originally did about what success looks like?
Yeah, my husband and I have talked a lot about this past year. He runs his own tree business, Woodman Tree Service.
Yeah,
so you'll see his signs if you're in Grove City. But just measuring, what does it look like to have a successful day? Is it when you bring in like the most money or the amount of money? And something he really values and wants his business to emulate is the culture of valuing each other, where productivity isn't measured by the amount of money, but it could be measured by that. But how are his workers doing? Are they worshiping God as they work? Are they being able to live out kingdom values? And so even just seeing like a brotherhood established amongst his workers, sometimes lunch breaks could be extra long because they're working out issues. Right. But like that's just as important at the end of the day, the unseen things of what's happening in our heart, as the envelope of cash that you would bring in. And so that's been something we've had to retrain our minds in even.
Yeah, I think it does take a renewing of our minds to recognize that the way that we might see success looking like is different often than what it looks like in the kingdom. I mean, Paul told the Colossians that we've died to the basic principles of the world. And I think that is something that if we're going to follow Jesus, we have to remember that, because it's not like we're just going to keep doing what we do and add a little Jesus to it. Yeah. It's like not Kool-Aid mix that we put in some water and get something different. It's really transformative in our own lives first. And I would just encourage you that as you're on this journey of following Jesus into making an impact, that we just really remember, we take time and remember that our lives, just fully embracing the message of the gospel and the life that Jesus lived for us as something to follow. Remembering that as we move from invitation into intentionality, that we don't stop invitation. Like we still have this invitation to come follow him. And that invitation is still true today. I think about whenever they came to make Jesus king, like he's doing these miracles and they come to make him king, and like that seems like that would have been the best move. That would have been the most influence. But instead he rejected that, knowing that the cross was coming. And I just think it's really important that if we're going to follow him, and we're going to get into in future chapters what it looks like to live intentionally as we interact with others, but really at the beginning of this, we have to come to this idea of what will it mean for my life? What will I call success? So as you look through and work through this section of the workbook, I think it's going to be really important that you again embrace times of self-reflection and also like talking with each other about what does it look like for you to call a day a win? What does it look like at the end of the day to say, hey, this was a good day? And recognizing that's not always going to be because everything worked out. It may be because there was a divine appointment that took place where you had an opportunity to really show who Jesus is to someone in the midst of a place that you would have never planned to happen in your day. So embrace this time as an opportunity to really talk to each other about what it looks like to redefine success, and watch and see what happens in your lives as you bring your idea of success into alignment with his.